What is up, everybody? Welcome to another gaming interview. This time, I'm going to be interviewing the 16BitPrick.
Hello Patrick and all your viewers, I am the 16BitPrick from Edinburgh all the way in Scotland. I mainly post reviews of old retro games on my channel, SNES, NES, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, etc. And yeah, I've been looking forward to doing this interview for a while, so let's see what questions you've got.
When did you get into gaming?
I got into gaming at a very young age actually. I always remember when I was younger my parents had a NES and I vaguely remember playing the likes of like Mario Bros, Donkey Kong, etc. But like my first like vivid proper memory would have to be from the Super Nintendo. I remember playing the likes of like Super Castlevania, Super Probotectors, Mario All-Stars, and then obviously later on in life PlayStation 1, N64, but for me definitely SNES. That's when I really remember sitting down and playing games a lot.
What kind of games do you like?
It really depends on what kind of mood I'm in, to be honest. Recently I've seen myself playing a lot of golf games on the Xbox One for some reason. I get really addicted to them time from time. Also I've been playing Guitar Hero games on the 360 quite a bit recently. But yeah, it really does depend. Like since I've started doing this channel, I've went back and played a lot of games from my childhood. So I've been playing a lot of PS1. I like, Resident Evil. That's a classic series. If I'm going to play the Super Nintendo, probably like Castlevania, Final Fantasy. PS2. I like quite a lot of the racing games on the PS2. So yeah, it just really depends on what mood I'm in and what console I'm looking to play on that day.
What fan base in the gaming community would you say is the worst and most toxic?
Well, what fan base is the most toxic? God, I remember playing Call of Duty online. Those players on online can be absolutely brutal. Same with FIFA. I used to play that online. If you beat someone, you get a message being like, oh, you're shit or you suck or whatever, even though you beat them. I'll tell you what game was good online and players were really respectful to each other was the Fight Night games for some reason. Even if you absolutely smash someone, you would always get a message being like, good game or whatever. So it's quite refreshing, to see that. But as far as toxic, I know it's not like gaming based, but I mean a lot of the channels that I do watch on YouTube is gaming, but recently this whole thing with like Patreon, where you've got to pay to interact with the channel you're watching. I've never quite understood that. I've seen a lot of channels on YouTube over the years that I've watched grow to large numbers of subscribers, and then all of a sudden they hit you with that Patreon link. They stop interacting with their fans in the comments, and yeah, I'm not really a fan of that. That's why I quite like your channel, Patrick, because I see you in the comments interacting with your fans, loving the comments, liking the comments, replying to comments. That's what I think YouTube should be about, and go back to its roots from how I remember it being many years ago.
What is your favorite console?
That's impossible for me to answer, I'm afraid. Obviously I started with the SNES or Super Nintendo, and I remember obviously getting like a Nintendo 64 in that, but that's impossible for me to answer. I can't choose one, but I would say it would definitely be between Super Nintendo and PlayStation 1. I absolutely love both of them consoles, so yeah, either one of them two, to be honest.
What game are you most hyped for?
To be honest, there's not really any game that I can think of that's coming out soon that I'm really that bothered about. The last games that I was really hyped for was the Crash Insane trilogy, the Spyro Reignited trilogy, and also the Resident Evil 2 remake. I thoroughly enjoyed all three of them. I thought the remake of Resident Evil 2 was done brilliantly and made me shit my pants. Even at this age, which I think is crazy a game can do that, but they done that really well. Games that I would look forward to if they did eventually come out would have to be Grand Theft Auto, what we on 5, so if there was a Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out, I would definitely be hyped for that. And also, if they remade Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, I would most definitely be hyped for that. I always think how they done Mr. X with the remake of the second one. Imagine them doing that, but with Nemesis chasing you through the whole game constantly. I think that would absolutely be brilliant. So yeah, if they done a new Grand Theft Auto or a remake of Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, then I would be all for that, definitely.
What is one game you would make if you could?
I remember having a conversation with a good friend of mine about this, about, you know, what games we would make if we could. And one game that we did agree on was a football casual style game where, I don't know if anyone knows in America anyway, but it's, you know, two teams playing each other on a Saturday and their fans, for whatever reason, they decide to meet up and have a fight with each other. Sounds ridiculous, and it completely is, but I think if they somehow turned that into a game, I think that would be really good, really enjoyable. I know there is a game that is sort of like that out there already, but I'm sure it was only out on the PC and it was a sort of turn-based strategy game, if I remember correctly. I didn't actually play it, but I've seen footage of it. Didn't look that great, not what I've had in my head for, you know, a football fan casual fighting game or whatever. And another game that I thought of that would be brilliant is if, well, there was a film years ago, I think like over 10 years ago or something, that came out. It's called The Business. Nick Love directed it and it starred Danny Dyer and Tamar Hassan. I think if they somehow made that into a game, just judging by like the story wise of the film and stuff like that, I think that would be, yeah, I think that would be a great game actually, come to think of it.
What company would you choose to make your ideal game?
Well, what company I would like to make them? I think for the football casual fighting one, I would have to either go with like Capcom or Konami, and it would have to be in the sort of same style as like a side-scrolling beat 'em up. I quite like the sound of that, but if I was going to go for the business type style game, it would probably be Rockstar, you know, how good they are with graphics and story progression and character development, and it would just suit, I think, the style of that film to a game perfectly if Rockstar done it. So yeah, Konami, Capcom for side-scrolling beat 'em up, like sort of SNES style, that'd be fantastic, and Rockstar if it was a game based on the film called The Business.
What is your favorite location in a video game? Like, for example, a town or a dungeon?
Oh, some of my favourite locations in video games. Oh, that's a tough one. I'd probably say the early Resident Evil games. I know I go on about Resident Evil a lot, but I do like the earlier ones. The first one starting off in a mansion, second one all about police station, and the third one where it shows you, you know, the chaos from the view of, you know, Raccoon City, of where the game's based, like the carnage and chaos that's going on in the streets. Also Silent Hill 2, I like that location just as a whole. That game just absolutely messed with my mind. Great game as well, but yeah, totally screws your mind, that game. Definitely scared the crap out of me the first time I played that. Zelda, Ocarina of Time, that game as just a whole, the whole location, all dungeons. I can't think of one dungeon in that I didn't enjoy, and that does include the Water Temple. I did actually enjoy that. And one more, let me think. Probably Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I thought that location altogether was absolutely brilliant. It had like a mini LA style location, you had like Las Vegas, you know, Area 51, places like that. I thought that was really well done. I'm a lover of like hip hop music myself, so that game as a whole for me was just fantastic, capturing America from like the early 90s. I think they've done a brilliant job with that. So yeah, all them ones I just mentioned there, I really did enjoy the locations of.
In your opinion, what are 3 of the worst games ever made?
So 3 of the worst games ever made. I don't think I could choose 3. The last game that I was really disappointed in was FIFA 19. I thought that game was absolutely horrendous, and that's the game that just put me off FIFA completely. Actually, without plugging my own channel here, I've done a review of FIFA 99, and towards the end I sort of compare football games then to what they're all about now, and it's crazy the difference and how far we've come. With it not being about how good you are at the game, it's all about how big your wallet is and how much you're willing to spend to have the best team and just dominate everyone through how big your wallet is, which I think is absolutely crap. But as far as another rubbish game, for me personally, now when I was younger I liked them, but when I've gone back over the years to try and play them again, I just couldn't get on with whatsoever, and that would have to be WWF Warzone and WWF Attitude on the PS1. It's a shame because I loved wrestling when I was younger, as I'm sure everyone did, like the days when it was Stone Cold, The Rock, Undertaker, Kane, Mankind. Like those days were just amazing in wrestling, and the roster for those games, well, definitely the Attitude game, was absolutely brilliant. But see, going back and trying to play them now is absolutely horrendous. I just can't get on with them. Same goes for the early WWF games on the Game Boy as well. Because your expectations are so high as a youngster, you think everything's going to be great. I remember getting, I think it was WWF Betrayal and it was WWF WrestleMania 2000 on the Game Boy, and yeah, those were horrendous. But WrestleMania 2000 on the N64, that was probably one of the best wrestling games ever, but not so great on the Game Boy. So yeah, that's probably the worst games that I can think of at the moment anyway.
Who is your favorite video game music composer?
Don't have one favourite music composer when it comes to video games, but I can certainly tell you some soundtracks from games that I really do like. The likes of Metal Gear Solid on the PS1, I thought that was brilliant. The first 3 Resident Evil games on the PlayStation 1. Dino Crisis soundtrack as well, I thought was brilliant. Silent Hill 2 on the PS2, I thought that was fantastic as well. Not only does the visuals and graphics of the game mess with your mind, it's the sound effects and the music and stuff in it as well, I thought was absolutely brilliant. I can't credit that game enough. It's the Final Fantasy games as well, on the PS1 and also the Super Nintendo as well. You've also got Breath of the Wild, or Breath of Fire. Breath of Fire, yeah, Breath of the Wild's the Zelda game. Breath of Fire on the Super Nintendo, that was brilliant. I loved that. Street Fighter games on the Super Nintendo. Zelda, Link to the Past, and Ocarina of Time. I thought they were fantastic soundtracks. I mean, to be honest, the list goes on. Like I said, I don't have one favourite composer, but I could talk all day about games for sure of soundtracks that I really enjoyed. Thanks, Patrick, for giving me the opportunity to take part in this interview. I really enjoyed it. Also, thanks to your fans for taking their time to watch this interview, and I hope to maybe see some of you guys over on my channel sometime soon. That would be great. I've got a great series coming up soon that if you're a fan of the PlayStation 1, I'm sure you're going to enjoy. My first video for that series should be up in the next maybe week or two. I've got a busy schedule with work and all that, so I'll try and do as much as possible. So yeah, thanks for that, Patrick. Also, you run a great channel, mate, so keep up the good work. I do enjoy watching the content that you upload, and thanks. See you all later. Bye.
Alright everybody, that is the interview. Thank you so very much, 16BitPrick, for allowing me to interview you. It was a real pleasure, my friend. And I highly recommend y'all go check out his channel. He does review videos on some amazing retro games. And my most favorite video of his so far is his review video on Donkey Kong Country 1. In that video, I highly recommend that y'all definitely watch. But alright guys, that's going to be it for this interview. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one. Goodbye.